Look at this. Look at the battling, and it is a safety car. Here comes Mika into slow corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for F1 down towards the next couple. Oh, and it's! Oh my god! Whoa! Bit of a season as Nolo wins! In Monza for FRLT Tier 1 of 4. And right, Benny! Oh, here he goes! Hello, and welcome back to FRLT Season 5. And it is time for no assists. Once again this week, time for round number 3 of the season. This week we come to Australia, Melbourne. 5.278 kilometers, 3.279 miles, 14 turns, 3 dash zones, down the first straight, then down the second straight, and down that back straight as well between turn 10 and 11. And that is the track map. Looking at the calendar, we have now gone through Monza and Belgium. 2 high-speed tracks. We've got Monza and Belgium, 2 high-speed tracks. And now we move to... Australia. I had to quickly type something. We now move to Australia, another high-speed track, 3rd of the season. Next week, it will change. It will change. It's a very big change coming in next week because we go to Singapore, which will be a very different track to race at for this season. It's going to be very different for drivers and teams. Adding into that, I think this week's going to be very interesting. Standings wise, because at the moment, we'll have a look at the standings now. ONB on top, a brilliant finish for them. P9, a P1 and P5, or also a 9 out of 10 for myself, up into the lead of the championship by 10 points. So an incredible race for them. Took 29 points in Belgium, by the way. Another pole position to their season. EVR close behind, still 10 points behind, but that fight over second is incredibly close. 3 points, splitting 3 teams. Bit of a tough race for SET. They dropped from 1st down to 4th in the standings in one single race, down 3 places. XPG with an incredible P4 finish as well. I have to point that out. Incredible finish for them. TDR continuing their bad start to their season. Not racing in round 1, and now, a very, very poor finish in round 2. Still no points. Only team yet to score points so far this season. Maybe it will change going into this race. And we are getting into qualifying now. And as you can see, it's a little bit wet. It's a little bit wet for qualifying. It's very wet for qualifying. And this is going to pose another difficulty to the drivers. It's going to pose something very, very different to the drivers here tonight. Because, let's be honest, that's pretty big. Rain, wet weather for tonight. Wet weather. We saw it in Belgium. We had a lot of wet weather. We had I'd say pretty much we had 16 minutes of rain by my account, about 16, maybe even about 15. I'd say probably about close to about 15 and a half minutes of rain in qualifying, but we're starting off tonight's qualifying session. No assist once again with another rain-filled session. We'll have to see whether this rain is going to go on throughout the whole of qualifying or not. We do have a driver to invite, sadly, because somebody decided not to add me earlier. Their usual not adding me earlier, so they don't get an invite on time. And they prove to not be online. That is useless. Completely and utterly useless. Yeah, I don't see them on this. Unless it's Maisie, which I generally suspect it isn't. Got a car coming out onto the track. That's an Alpine heading out onto the track. It is Schumacher, the first driver to be out onto the track here tonight. Let's see how he's going to do. He's proven very good for EVR so far. He's proven incredible pace. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one here tonight. I was just reading a quick stat that OMB's such brilliant performance, getting themselves 28 points so far, is this season's biggest points haul out of any team in assists or fours. But Schumacher on his outlap at the moment, making his way round. Making his way around pretty well. It's not going too bad for himself at the moment. And we're about to start the first run of qualifying, once again under wet conditions. Through turn 1 he goes, nice and swift. Through turn 2, very nice. And now down towards turn 3, got to hit this corner right. It's a bit of a difficult corner, a little bit of a lock-up on that front right tyre. Only 3 drivers at the moment on a lap in this session. Already over 3 minutes have gone by. Whoa, as he hits the curb. A bit too heavily. Just a little bit too heavily, to be honest. And heading towards the end of Sector 1, it's 31.764 is the time to beat. Schumacher's got a tough one tonight. I think a lot of teams have a tough one tonight. XPG want to build off of their great race that they had last week, of course, you know, taking those 11 points, a very strong finish for themselves, into the fast left and right, turn 9 and 10. Pretty solid, not too bad. I'm doing good, Timon. I'm doing good. Hope you are too. Heading into the tight right hand of the tightest corner on the track. Not too bad. Bit technical there. Now into the fast right-hander. Not so fast in the wet conditions. Into the hairpin. You can spin really easily. So you're losing the rear bit for Schumacher. He's not looking incredible on his laps so far. He's struggling a little bit. Down towards the line. Let's see, what is lap time going to be? It's a 1 minute 31.414. Is the time to beat here tonight. That's immediately beaten by Willian, who goes to a 1 minute 28.205. He's way faster. Way faster. Are we going to see a different team get pole? So far, OMB have secured both pole positions this season, taking those 2 points. Nobody else has, as of yet this season, by the way. Nobody else has achieved that goal as of yet. Nobody else has done it this season. So will we see a second team get pole position here tonight? Are we going to see somebody else other than OMB? Rosso quickest at the moment. Maybe we're going to see a pole position from them. Who knows? That's an invalidation for Trusted, and that is some disappointment there for himself. That's quite disappointing for himself, I can't lie. Not exactly what you want to be seeing on your lap. I think Deck is behind him. Then it's Schumacher, who's a bit further behind. Is he on a fast lap? Is he on a fast lap? I don't know. I don't know whether he's on a fast lap or not. It feels like he is. Also feels like he isn't, so I'm not sure. He might be on a fast lap. I think he is. Yes, he is. He is on a fast lap. He's going for it again. Not too bad so far from Schumacher. He definitely looks quite a bit quicker. Is he quick enough, though? And across the line, he does go 3 seconds faster to a 28.3, putting himself within a tenth and a half of provisional pole. Not too bad. Thomas with the fastest time, 27.569. He knows where to stick the car on the track. Clearly showing some experience there. And that is what you really want to be seeing. Inning can't do the same. He can only go into P4. Not the strongest of laps for himself. Currently slowest and quite far off the pace. Soren can only go P5. Not where you want to be. Not where you want to be at all. Really, really quite far away. But we have seen improvements. We have seen improvements from different drivers. So making their way round Soren with some pace. He's invalidated his lap in the end. Deck making his way round. Deck making his way around pretty quickly. And heading up to the line. Where is he going to go? Goes to P3, 28.242. I've just got to quickly check something, because something seems to have gone wrong in the settings, which I don't know why it's gone wrong. Assist restrictions. Why is that on? Why is ABS and Racing Line on? Oh, this game's so ass sometimes. It actually is. It actually gets me annoyed. Speedy can only go P8. Bit of a struggle from him. I can confirm we will be having a restart after qualifying. We will be having a restart after qualifying is done. Bit annoying to have a restart. Not sure why the game's doing this to me, like it usually does. It seems to have a bit of a. I had this in Falls on Sunday. Had the same problem there. There goes Kimmy to P2. Kimmy goes P2. I'm not sure why it keeps doing this. I had the same problem on Sunday, where it had, where when I first set up the lobby, luckily somebody pointed out just before we got going for qualifying, but basically it showed that in basically it was showing no assists, which I don't know what it's up to. It seems to be doing something of its own, very much, I must say. It's definitely doing something a bit strange. Indian just improved to a 27.6. Very strong from himself. Deck is up by another 0.4 of a second. The only reason why we're not restarting now during qualifying is time. Speedy goes P5. Good lap from himself there. Deck making his way around, also improving quite heavily. Pascal, I think, is pushing for another run. I think we got Schumacher on an out lap. I think we've got Deck making his way around now, and I think his teammate Kimmy's going into the pits, so it's Deck next. So the only reason why we're having why we're not restarting is because we're kind of too far into qualifying. And to be honest, I'd notice if somebody was using ABS. We'll see on deck, because he's just gone quickest of all to a 27.264. So he goes fastest of all in this session. Now Soren goes P2. Very, very strong from himself. So now Pascal goes fastest of all to a 26.8. The rain does seem to be clearing. It's getting a lot lighter now. With 6 minutes and about 40 seconds left on the clock, the rain is getting a lot lighter. And I'm noticing drivers are improving quite heavily. Schumacher not improving. He's got to go for another run. Jojo making his way around. Let's see how he can do on live. Very, very good lap there. Very, very good lap from himself. The lap he needed to make there was done right away. Very much the lap he needed to make. Massive lap from himself. SKG now go quickest of all. Who have we got? Who else is making his way around? That's Pascal, who's making his way in. Yeah, Pascal's making his way in. We got an out lap from Willian. Yeah, I've got Mercedes also of Kimi on an out lap. Making his way around into the final corner. What can Schumacher do? Can he improve a lot? He's up by over a second, so he's definitely going to be looking like he's on for a strong time. And across the line, he goes fastest of all to a 26.308. And Inver goes P2 into a 26.4. So he's a little bit further behind at the moment, looking very, very close. 3/10 splitting the top 4 at the moment. Hello, Jose. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. But it is looking a little bit toasty now. It's looking a bit toastier than it was a minute ago. And here comes Jojo to start off a new run for himself. I'm trying to look who's on a lap. Thomas now goes fastest of all into a 1 minute 25.9. The lap time's absolutely crumbling. Just dropping down heavily now. We've actually gone about 3 seconds quicker than the start of the session. As you could probably notice, the rain is a lot lighter and it's almost soon to come to a stop. So as you can see, it's disappearing. It's very, very light at the moment. So definitely waiting to see how this goes for quite a few people. There's a lot of chances online. Kimi's improving by about 0.6 of a second, so he's showing that there's clear pace in the lap. And across the line, he can go P4 into a 26.3. Not too bad for himself, not too bad at all. That's Schumacher crawling his way around. That's Inver also making his way in. Flames slowly heading round. I think he's going to be heading into the pit lane. Yes, he is. He's on his way in. So that's him done for now. We've got Indian who's making his way round. We've got Speedy also on an out lap. I think we've got Jojo though. Jojo making his way around. Let's see what he's going to do as a lap time. He goes fastest of all. 9/10 found. 25.646 is the time set. It is the time set and done. And that is a strong, strong lap from himself. Very, very strong, I have to say. Bourbon Boy still unable to really get a lap on the board. Flame 14th, so XPG really struggling to find a lap. Paco goes P4 into a 26.1. I think we've got Willian who's slowly crawling his way round, and into the pits he goes. Don't think he's going to have enough time to do a lap. I think it'd be quite difficult for him to do a lap, I must say. That's Kimi that's making his way in. Speedy, who's going quick. He's on a fast lap at the moment, so let's see how he can do. Into the final corner. Go Speedy. How quick can he go? How much can he improve by? We'll have to see in a second. And across the line, he can only go P7 to 26.4. SET looking 7th and 8th. An even worse qualifying session here in Australia. It just seems to be getting worse and worse for them in wet conditions. It's just not improving at all. At all for these guys. It just seems to be getting far worse. Deck has invalidated his lap as well. That doesn't help himself. Very much hurting his performance here. Soren's coming across the line. That is then Gabriel that's coming across. I think that was KG who's starting his lap. Then it's Schumacher who's also on his lap. Indian's going slow. Thomas is making his way around though with some speed. Let's see how he's going to do. A little bit of sliding off the exit of the final corner. He's in P2. He's on for an attack. Giorgio retires. And just as we say that, Thomas goes to a 25.0. That is the new time to beat in this session. That is tonight's time to beat now. And that's going to be a tough one. Again, Bourbon Boy invalidates once again in this session. It's not looking too good for him. Invert making his way around now. We've got Pascal, who's also heading around slowly. I think then we have Speedy, who is on a slow lap. He's going slowly on his lap at the moment, so he's not particularly fast at all. He's definitely not going quickly right now. You can see Trusted, followed by his teammate Tsunami further behind. Have we got Deck on a lap? Yes, we do. Deck is going to be the next one. He's going to be the first driver to do his final lap here. Only one driver is out, so that means 17 drivers can still do their runs, except Flame, which means 16 drivers to do laps. And across the line, William didn't make it. Kimi didn't make it. Deck goes P6 and a lap. Very strong for himself. Soren, P2. Very good. And that's now Gabriel who goes P2 instead. Everybody jumping up the order. KG can only go P12. It's not the qualifying session he wanted. Kimi only stays in P9. And I think that was William confirming his P5 performance. We've got Schumacher across the line next. Can he go fastest? What is he going to do? He's going to go P3! And what a lap from himself. That is incredible. Hako coming up to the line next as well. He goes P6. What a lap there. Indian across the line. Indian goes P7, just slotting in behind the SKG driver. That's a good enough lap there. Born Boy yet wasn't able to even set a lap at the end of qualifying. Absolute disappointment there for himself. Inver making his way around. He seems like he's a little bit off. Can he do it? And across the line, he goes P6. And a good jump up the order. Exactly what he needed. We got Pascal who's making his way around. He's up by about 0.8 of a second. That's going to send him up to about P9 at the moment. And across the line, Pascal! Fastest of all! He goes into P1 and OMB take a hat-trick of podiums as it stands. They take a hat-trick of poles, a hat-trick of poles. And that is 3 poles in a row, and it's Pascal to put it on pole. And what a lap, and that is qualifying over and done with. Holy, what an end. What an end after that. What an end. So this is the grid. Pascal is on pole, followed by Thomas, Gabriel, Schumacher, Soren, Gergo, Inver, Hako, Speedy, Indian, William, Deck, Kimi, KJ, Tsunami, Flame, Trusted, and Bourbon Boy. So we're going to be having a lovely I'm going to be having a lovely, lovely restart. So we're going to have a restart very, very shortly. We'll see the chaos of it first. So yeah, it just comes down to the wrong assist being on. I don't know why it was on, because I turned them off, but this game has had a tendency the last couple of weeks of just switching the settings back. Everybody starts rather nicely from the race. Some people just seem to be going with the race. So we'll watch the utter chaos go on. Still some drivers yet to have retired from the session. I think we've still got 8 drivers yet to retire. Not sure why. So, as you can see, the lovely chaos. Okay, and that is that. We're going to get straight back into the lobby and get underway for the restart. Of course, we won't be doing qualifying again, but we will be moving on to quickly sorting the lobby once again, putting everybody in their correct places, and we should be underway very, very soon. Very soon. We've got all 18 drivers, so it should be very quick. It's just sorting the grid quickly of who was where, and then going from there, basically. So it shouldn't take too long. It'll take a couple of minutes to sort out. I'm not sure why the assists have come back on. I'm going to trust that teams did not cheat. Very much going to have some trust in... So we're getting underway very shortly. I do apologize for this restart. I did not think that we'd be having a restart. My silence also is just me sending messages back and forth to different teams and stuff over this, because I know some people seem to be quite unhappy that there's a restart. So now it's time to sort the assist restrictions. So I'm just sorting the weather right now. So we're just sorting everything right now on what it should be. I do apologize, guys, for the absolute madness of this. I'm not sure why it's doing this. I'm not sure why it decided to stick on assists, but we're sorting. So, we're just going to go to a quick break, and I'll see you in a few minutes. We are back after the short break to now get into tonight's race. I do apologise, guys, for the massive delay to today. I do apologise with the restart, having to make sure everything is perfect and ready for today. We're going to be getting underway. And we're going to get going. It is wet to start the race, then it turns to being cloudy and overcast to then it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be overcast, then cloudy to end off the race. So we're going to be having the rain up and going. We're going to have rain to start off tonight. And let's just have a quick look at the standings while we wait to get underway. So, as you can see, TDR, bottom of the standings, still a poor qualifying from them tonight. It will most likely lead them to no points once again. UFRT follow not too far in front, just behind VMV in 7th in the standings. XPG also great week. Last week brought them and left them up into P6 in the standings. Very strong evening. Rosso lost out a place or two. I think they lost out two places down to 5th in the standings. SET finished 4th, and so 4th. I believe we might be getting underway in the next minute or so. Good week from EVR last week. Were able to gain that position. They held on to their second in the constructors, of course, making themselves quite big and nice to stay in second in the constructors, but 10 points away from OMB. And once again, OMB here tonight, proving to have a great qualifying session. P1 and P5, they're looking like they're going to do the exact same as they did last race. The exact same. We'll be starting about a minute or so, but it is interesting to see, though, how teams look like they're doing the exact... It looks like OMB might be quickest in no assists this season. They seem to be much more competent. Compared, they've taken 3 poles in a row now. The fact that they have dominated qualifying, 3 races, 3 qualifying sessions, 3 pole positions, just shows pure dominance so far from OMB. I know there's still 10 more qualifying sessions left to the season, but still 10 qualifying sessions, but 3 poles in 3 races, incredible from OMB on qualifying consistency. It all depends on whether they can take the victory, though, because we know SET, of course, they won the opening race of the season back in Monza, and OMB won last race. So can OMB make it back-to-back victories in no assists? Can they continue to lead the constructors, or are EVR going to pull back some points? Schumacher definitely in there for a chance. A lot of teams in there, VMV as well. I think the wet conditions definitely throwing up some problems. It is going to get drier later in the race. It is going to get drier, and I can hear the beeping getting about to go into round number 3 of the season. And it is time for FRLT no assists, round number 3 of season 5. And it is go, go, go in Australia, and it is a great getaway from Pascal. He gets the perfect getaway off at the start there. A lot of drivers going all over the place. Now into turn 1 goes Pascal. He gets the perfect braking, and he's gone through turn 1 absolutely without any attack from anyone else. Thomas, though, all over the back of him already, heading down towards turn 3. You can see that Red Bull right there, trying to look for a move. Unable to just yet, and he takes the defensive line. He's gone a little bit deep, though. Has the man of Pascal. He's gone a bit deep. It's now allowed Thomas to be right on the back of the Aston Martin. Who's going to come out here? You can see further back, Speedy making his way up to P7 as he gets past Hako into the wall, though he goes. You can see Giorgio having a massive issue at the moment. He's really struggling on those tyres. He's really having to battle his way. Rosso now as well with Willian trying to make his way past. Oh, and that is Indian in the wall. And that's a big moment for him as well. I think he's gotten damage from that as well. So that's really, really painful for himself. You can see, look at this. The Sauber of Gabriel all over the back of Thomas over P2 in this race. But he loses a little bit off of the exit. Fast left and right turn 9 and 10. Not proving to be nice corners for the Sauber here tonight. But you can see further back, Indian now trying to make his move, make a way back past. But it looks like Kimi's going to get that move done. Onto the outside. Has he been able to defend it? No, he hasn't. He's actually going to lose out another place. Possibly to KJ over the position of P13 here. Down the inside. He goes on deck. And KJ, he's trying to make that move. He doesn't have any wing damage, so not too bad. So he's actually getting places. Oh, but again, hitting the wall. It's just not working for him so far. He's down into P13. He's been going backwards so far in this race. That's not where you really want to be. He started P10, I believe. P10 or P9, and he's now down a couple of places. Let's have a quick look at the... let's have a quick look, actually. He's down 3 places. He started P10. Soren down 2. Giorgio down 4. So at the moment, not looking too great. Everybody's on the intermediate tyres, but an interesting start from many. A very interesting start. The grid still pretty close together, but the gaps are starting to open up. You can see, though, Thomas still right on the back of Pascal for the lead of this race. It is OMB once again in a battle, not with SCT, not with EVR, but with VMV this time. It is a new team, a new race and a new team to battle, and that is something interesting to see here tonight. Will VMV claim their first ever victory in FRLT? We're going to have to see very, very shortly. As the race goes on, you can see Indian having some more battles further back. Look at this, Giorgio going off. Giorgio's gone off and actually allowed Indian up into P12, so he's gaining the places back. Hako as well making a move on Soren for P7. Soren dropping down the order. He's down 3 places as well in this race. It's not looking good for the OMB driver. It looks like it's not looking like a promising race for Soren. He's just dropping down in the order now, down 3 places, and he's got William next, who's been pushing up in the order, so maybe we'll see the Rosso driver get past Soren for P8 in this race as well. It's not a good start for one OMB driver, but a great start for the other. Still leading the race away onto lap 3. 2 laps led in this race once again. OMB continue to lead. Pure dominance this season so far. We've seen it in qualifying. OMB have clearly been the fastest in qualifying. I think that's without a doubt. They've been fastest in qualifying, even just overall. This race and last race, very, very fast. And again, 3 poles in 3 races. Exactly the way you want to go. But let's see. Will they be able to hold up this, or are they going to have to hold out for the win? Of course, no DRS yet. Most of these drivers, I have to say, are going to be waiting for the dry conditions. Here comes Schumacher. He's made his way past Gabriel for P3. Schumacher now on the push to catch up to the front 2. Inver also catching up to the top 2 as well. So everybody getting quite close. All of the top 5 within a second of each other. Hako, though, has lost loads of time. He's about 2 seconds behind P6. And that is not where you want to be at the moment. SET, though, on for 17 points tonight. So it's a decent points finish. Better than last week. But it's still not where... It feels like they've just not been able to be where they want to be in the grid. They've, after round 1, after that great victory they had in round 1, they just seem to have fallen away in form going into, this race, and last race, and, Belgium and here. Soren gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. First penalty of the evening goes to himself. Here comes William. Around the outside, I said William would try to make that move soon enough. A little bit of contact there. It's getting a little bit intense. Whoa, and a bit more tapping. And ultimately, Decker's caught up to this battle for P8. Is this going to be another position gained for William? And maybe will Deck make it into P9 in this race? I mean, for the moment, Soren is just going backwards in the grid order. He's just not getting any closer to the front, and that's not good. Look at this, round the outside. William makes the move with just pure ease, with straight line speed. He makes the move, and up into P8 he goes. Soren now down another place, down into P9. Only 2 points coming his way now in this race. Would have been 10. He's lost out 8 points for OMB so far this evening, but Could it just be that it's wet conditions? Are the dry conditions going to fix everything? Maybe, maybe not. But I have to say, Pascal proving his pace so far. He's about to finish off a 4th lap led here tonight in Australia. Another 4 laps to add to the laps led counter for OMB. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. Schumacher now goes 4 tenths quicker than that. Schumacher showing his pace. Maybe EVR pushing for a victory. VMV pushing for a victory. Rosso pushing for a victory. And SET pushing for a victory. 2 teams in 2 races have won. SET and OMB. But who's going to win out of Australia? Are we going to be seeing a 3rd team win? Will it be OMB to take their 2nd win of the season and back-to-back victories? Will it be SET to possibly take their 2nd win of the season in 3 races? Or are we going to see a new winner? VMV, who have never won before. EVR, who have won in assists, but never won in no assists. Is it going to be Rosso, who haven't won in anything? But are they going to take their 1st win of the season? This is going to be quite interesting to see as the race goes on. I have to say, though, Pascal proving to be the calm and very collected driver he's shown last race and this race. Very calm out there at the moment. Definitely showing the pace for OMB. At the moment, I will say I do feel like a lot of other teams don't seem to be able to match up to OMB entirely in qualifying. It was proven in Belgium. Couldn't do it. I think that very much came down to luck in when the dry and wet conditions came out. Schumacher goes another half a second quicker, by the way, in this. With his fastest lap, he goes half a second in a single lap. You can see the rain is slowing down. The rain is almost entirely stopped. So the wet conditions, is Pascal going to drop through the order when the wet conditions go? Maybe. We'll have to see. Also remember, DRS is going to get activated, and that is just going to help the huge amount of drivers behind him, the 5 drivers behind him. That's just going to help them, and most likely in one straight we could see him get overtaken twice and go down to P3 with Thomas taking the lead and then Schumacher following. But we'll have to see with the gaps, because I have to say it's looking incredibly close. Once again this week, it's looking incredibly close. It's definitely between a couple of teams this week for who can get the win. OMB, though, definitely on a good run at the moment. 2 teams have now led the Constructors' Championship out of the opening 2 races. Are we going to see a new Constructors' Championship leader out of the 3rd race of the season? Because SET are on for 17 points. OMB are on for 21 points. They're still pulling another 4 points ahead of SET in the Constructors. I believe it is 13. I think it'll be 14 points at the moment. Schumacher's fast lap. Now that is 22 points now for OMB, bringing themselves to 64 points in the championship. That's where they'd sit. It's on 64 points after this race. VMV will claim a lot of points tonight on their way for, I think, 14 points, I believe. Here tonight, 14 or 15 points. I think it's... Sorry. I'm getting confused. 16 points. They'll gain 16 points this race and go up to 21 points in the championship, which is really strong for them. Rosso as well, looking like they're going to have a very strong comeback again in this race on their way for 14 points tonight for Rosso. So they're looking like they're going to be back on a roll this week. Looking like they're back on a roll once again, and it looks like they're going to jump ahead of SKG in the standings and move up into 4th. I will say EVR look like they're going to hold on to their 2nd place. SET will probably move up to 3rd. Because SKG are probably going to move down to, as it stands, they're going to move down. SKG are moving down to 6th. Sorry, down to 5th in the Constructors. So they're going to be losing 2 places out of this race. They're going to be down to 5th. On 34 points, which puts them 30 points adrift from the championship leaders. But Soren, by the way, has just dropped down to P10 in this race. So that's another point lost. That's down to 21 points once again for OMB. But if we see Soren drop another position, they'll be down to just 20 points tonight, which brings it a little bit closer. Just a little bit closer, because EVR will only drop 7 points to OMB then. So instead of being 10 points, it will be 17 points. That will be the gap. Unless Schumacher can make his way up into P2, which means he'll just drop 4 points as a team. His teammate nowhere close at the moment to the top 10. He's a bit far off, 2 seconds away from that pack running for the top 10. So Schumacher kind of on his own again here tonight. But if he can get up into P2, reclaim a good, they might still drop 4 points to OMB, as Soren is probably going to, as it stands, he'll drop outside of the top 10. We might see Schumacher gain, lose 4 points, EVR losing 4 points for the championship leaders, but that will only increase to 14 points in the lead of the Constructors' Championship for OMB, who should have realistically had a much stronger evening than they are having. I know that they've led all of, so far, what's about to be all of the 8 laps. Oh, and that's Gabriel. He's had a moment. He has spun. And that is OMB's moment of glory. Seems to have disappeared, and their chance for the podium seems to have disappeared with it, as they're now about 2 corners behind. That is a massive mistake, and a race-defining mistake as well. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration for Rosso here tonight. Once again, lacking to get the opportunity done. And only now, 8 points will be coming their way. 8 points for Rosso. Just 8. Which will only bring them to 31 points in their championship campaign and won't gain them any positions in the constructors' standings. So when it comes down to that, they've really, really lost out here tonight. It's a really bad one, but up by a tenth and a half. The rain has stopped. The rain has stopped. Schumacher goes for P2. I said about how important it was to get P2, and he's gone and done it. But what I've noticed is SET, sitting in 4th and 5th, have really dropped off of the top 3. They're 3 seconds behind now. They've really dropped off behind. And it's to the point where I've even got to say here, Hacko is actually catching up to them, by the way. Hacko is really starting to catch up to the 2 SET drivers behind. You can see he is ripping tenths out of these guys. Currently, he's found about 3 tenths this lap alone in catching them. But Thomas is in the pits. He's going to be the first. He gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, what a mistake. He's going to another set of intermediates. What is the strategy with this? Who's coming in? Who else is on their way? Inver's also come in. He has chosen to go for the hards. Is it too early for hards? Has SET gambled it when they didn't need to? I very much think SET have come in too early. I think Inver's coming too early, and he's lost out too much. Indian as well, who's come in. So has Tsunami, who's had a moment. TDR just not getting away with this race at all. But the hard tyres, are they quick? They're looking like they're getting up to pace with the track drying. They definitely seem to be getting up to pace. We're going to have to see that gap, currently 4.9 seconds. Let's see into the fast left-right chicane whether this is going to be through turn 9 and 10. Are we going to see faster from the hard tyres? Slightly quicker, about 10th quicker through there. So he's not massively up. Speedy now comes into the pit lane. Got to be careful. Got to make sure you don't speed into the pit lane as well. You've really got to make sure you don't speed into the pit lane. We don't want a 10-second time penalty, because that might have just completely ruined Thomas's chances. Onto the hard tyres goes Speedy. He feels like the hard tyres are the way to go for the next 18 laps, so he thinks the long term is going to be better. Pascal and Schumacher getting quite close. Tsunami now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. TDR just sitting 17th and 18th, last once again here tonight. Oh, what is happening to them? What is happening to them? Inver has come out 3 seconds behind his teammate, by the way. He's come out very far behind. Pascal and Schumacher getting a little bit racy here. Much like last week, getting a little bit racy. I have to say, it's becoming a bit of a thing. EVR and OMB very much seem to be the two in the championship battle most. Even though SCT are just 3 points behind and SKG are just 3 points behind EVR. Even though there's just, there's, 13 points splitting the top 4 in the standings. Even though there's just 13 points out of the first 2 races, it does seem to be that EVR... Schumacher stays out. He stays out for another lap. Pascal comes in. What is this strategy? You can see here goes Gabriel. That spin has really affected William because it means he can't go in as well. Deck is on his way in. Soren, Bourbon Boy stays out. Flame stays out. He feels like it is time to go longer. But let's see. Where is he going to come out? He gets Soren. He gets Gabriel. Where is he? He's 5 seconds behind Pascal. That's coming down to 3, but the curb's still a little bit wet to use. He has closed that down a bit to 2.3 seconds instead of being 3. But still, for all of that, to gain the extra wear and that risk, it hasn't really worked out because Inver's still come out 3 seconds behind his teammate. So in all of this, they've actually kind of lost time with one driver. They've lost another second, or over a second, about almost 2 seconds with one driver, and they've gained only about 8/10 with the other. So at the moment, it's not looking like it hasn't been the best of ideas. Tsunami making his way up to P15 in this race. Very good, ahead of Kimi. UFRT also having a bit of a struggle again tonight. Looks like they're only going to get up to 10 points. Pascal makes his way past Flame for P5. Very, very simple. You can see the dry conditions. It's still a bit slippy. Schumacher's gone for another lap. I'm not sure what Schumacher's up to on those tyres. Maybe he's trying to escape from having too much tyre wear. I do not know, because everybody else has now come in. This has got to be a sign. Bourbon Boy hasn't. Bourbon Boy has stayed out. But this has got to be a sign. What is the gap? 18.5 seconds. Let's see. How much does that close this lap? Inver's just set the fastest lap of the race. 2/10 in the first 2 corners. 2/10. Absolute craziness going on. It is... Whoa. Lots of time. Lots of time is being found. You see quite a bit of time so far. About 4/10 has been found in the lap so far. He's 8/10 up on his personal best. But you can just see Schumacher's just not... He hasn't got any response. He's lost about 6/10 this lap already. He's losing lots of time. That's 7/10. It's going to be over a second a lap. Speedy, by the way, also gets past Flame with pure ease. Absolute pure ease for himself. Bourbon Boy, by the way, finds himself up to P12 in this race. So really, really good strategy from them. And with penalties, at the moment, it looks like Bourbon Boy could be in P10. So another point could be walking XPG's way. Schumacher has now come in. Finally, he's come in. Maybe trying to save that tyre wear. But was it worth to save the tyre wear? What tyres is he going to? He's going to the hard tyres. Jojo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As now he's going to roll along the pit lane. Where's he going to come out? As now he comes out. He's going to come out just behind Pascal in all of that. He's going to come out quite a bit behind Pascal. He's lost a lot of time. There was a yellow flag back in Sector 2. That was for Thomas, who's had a bit of a moment, I think, with Kimi. Flames is going to come out. Where does he come out? Where does Flame come out in all of this? Comes out just behind his teammate, P13. Very, very close. Whoa, almost took out the Alpine as well. Getting a little bit close for comfort. DRS is now enabled, but Schumacher, for that risk and saving that bit of tyre wear, he's ultimately lost he's lost about 2 seconds to Speedy, and he's lost about 2 seconds to Pascal at the same time. So this has just not worked out for EVR. They might have saved 2-3 laps of tyre wear, but in this case, with 15 laps to go, it won't really matter. But in this, really, at this point, he needs to catch up. Let's have a look at the tyres. Let's see who is on what. Only Tsunami is on the medium tyres. He's the only driver out on the mediums. Quite an interesting one there. Kimi's had 2 stops as well in this race, by the way. He's just done his 2nd stop. Position changes. Great race for Speedy. He's up 6 places this race. Same for Inver and Hako. Both up 3. Williams up 4. Up 7 for Bourbon Boy. So incredible race. Thomas is down 14. He started P2 in this race. Down 14. Speedy now just over a second. He's losing a bit of time. But so is Pascal. He's losing a bit of time to Schumacher. Somebody's gone round. That's Deck. It's Deck that's gone round. That mistake puts UFRT outside of the points and almost indefinitely outside the points as well. Oh, UFRT, their campaign. Oh, it's been a real campaign of struggles for this team. Their assist campaign is going far better than their no assist campaign. Even their force campaign is going better. But really, it just has not worked in no assists for UFRT. 4 points in 2 races. It looks like it's only going to be their 4 points in 3 races it's going to turn to. Only 1 team behind them in the standings as well. Doesn't even help that there's only 1 team behind them, and that is TDR. But a mistake that I think is going to haunt Deck quite a bit for the rest of this race. Indian makes his way back past Flame. Flame really pushing for position here. He's really pushing to make a move. He really wants to make this move very, very quickly. It is very hot in here, by the way, in my room. It is boiling. So at times I will be just having a drink. Schumacher, I don't know whether it's just me or has Schumacher just found 2 seconds. Because he's close right back up to the back of the man of Pascal. I think Pascal and Speedy might have just made some horrible mistakes. And here comes Schumacher for the lead round the outside with DRS. Schumacher takes the lead of the race and now is on the charge to lead EVR to their first no assists victory of the season and ever. What a move for the lead. He's already stretched out to about 8 tenths in the lead of the race. Fastest lap of the race as well. Sorry, EVR did win round 1. I was incorrect. SET led out of round 1 with the best overall finish, but they didn't win. That was my bad. So EVR charging for their 2nd victory of the season. I kept on thinking, this reminds me of something. I'm getting mixed up with assists. I'm just getting mixed up with assists. My bad, guys. I'm just getting a bit mixed up. Just me being me, to be honest. But as you can see, Schumacher making his way round incredibly quick. He's already over a second off into the lead. Schumacher might just be sealing a 2nd victory for EVR this season. And a pushback in the championship. Pascal will get 17 points. 2 points will be lost for OMB so far tonight. They're going to lose 2 points at the moment. And with Soren, he might go down to P9 in this race, I believe. So it's going to be equal. They're going to score the same amount of points. They're going to score 19 points as a team. But KJ is looking to get P10. So it looks like EVR might just gain 1 point in the Constructors' Championship. Just 1 point, reduce it to 9 points out of round 3. Remember, guys, there's still 10 more races after this. 10. It's incredible. It is really incredible. It shows how this, there is still so much to happen. I pretty much know that EVR are not going to take the lead of the Constructors here tonight, but maybe soon. But it's Tsunami who's gone off on those medium tyres. He's gone off the track. I think he's had a bit of a moment, and TDR's problems just get worse. 16th and 17th in this race. TDR just generally, I think this is just such a struggle for them at the moment in the championship. No points after 3 races. Gonna have to see how they do. We're gonna have to wait and see how they do. No team, by the way, has ever gone more than 3 races without points before their first point in a season. Last season in assists, all 10 teams scored points after the first 3 races. Same with fours. This season, I think assists, everybody scored points, I believe. And in Flame gets a 3-second time penalty. Schumacher set the fastest lap of the race once again. He's now 2.5 seconds out of the lead. He's absolutely just pulling far ahead. Gabriel gets the fastest lap of the race. Good recovery from himself. Back up to P5 and pushing at Inver for P4 in this race. You can see that Williams just down the road. Possible. Definitely possible. We've got 10 laps of the race left. We've gone through 18 whole laps. We're on to lap 19. Next lap will announce the final 10 laps of this race. The gap now. By the way, Pascal's made another mistake because Speedy has also caught up to him. Up 1.6 seconds. That's reduced quite a bit. That's half now in the last 2 laps. Pascal is now almost 4 seconds away from the race leader. So unless Schumacher makes some massive mistake, I don't see him losing the lead of this race. 4 seconds off in the lead. And now it looks like Pascal might be losing P2 and going down to P3 in this race. It might be another podium. It might be a second podium of the season for OMB. And it might be, I think the third. It might be it is. It will be the third podium for EVR this season. 3 podiums for EVR, 2 for OMB. And on their way, I think, for 1 for SCT. But that might be a P2, that might be a silver trophy out of round number 2. Because SCT are chasing down Pascal, specifically Speedy, chasing down Pascal over P2 in this race. You can see it's down to 1.1 seconds. I don't know what's happened to Pascal. He just seems to be really struggling on his hard tyres. It's just not working for him. But we saw this back. Hello. It's F1 25. It's F1 25, and it's SimRacing. Or League Racing, either one. But in this Speedy, by the way, within a second now of Pascal. He's within a second. It's coming down massively. But I've got to say, you know, OMB, we saw this in Monza, didn't we, though? We saw this in Monza. Their dry pace just isn't there. There's a battle for the podium, and this is the race. Battles everywhere, really. But, Speedy, it's round 3 of Season 5, FRLT. In no assists. It's literally all in the title. And Rain, do I see Rain? Do I see Rain on track? There's no way. There's no way we are going to get a second wave of rain. The rain is there. I see the rain's there. The rain's coming down. I'm not sure why there's more rain coming down. Indian gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. There's spits of rain. Is this rain, though? Is this rain? But here comes Speedy. He's attacking Pascal for P2. And into the fast left. And into the fast right. It's still battles all the way down towards turn 11. But Speedy has made the move for the lead for second place in this race. It's FRLT. It's FRLT. Speedy makes his way up into P2. And that's actually good. That's brilliant. It is brilliant for one driver. And that one driver being Schumacher. Because it means at the moment, his team are set to possibly get up to 2 points. His teammate could get P9 in this race. So if his teammate gets P9, he gets P1. That's 20 points, including fast laps 21 compared to 13, 1 and 1. So 14 and 15 points. 15 points. Because 15 points, you know, they're going to lose 6 points in the Constructors' Championship and close it down. This is getting risky. This is getting risky for teams and for drivers and for everyone. It is getting risky. Schumacher now leads by a dominant 7.5 seconds. His dry weather pace is absolutely incredible. There's no rain. There's no rain. There's not going to be any rain. Gabriel is fighting with Hako over P5 in this race. He's trying to chase down Inver as well. They are catching up to Inver very quickly. Remember, Inver was one of the drivers to go to the hard tyres earliest. He was the first driver, actually, to go to the hard tyres in the wet conditions. And you can see it's not paying off because he's got some extra tyre wear. Gabriel might now be pushing for P4. And Rosso look like they're actually on for a very good performance here tonight. Once again, they've recovered it. So we're going to have to see how it goes. As Gabriel makes his way down to start another lap, getting closer. He set the fastest lap of the race as well, 19.5. What a lap set by himself. Fastest of all. It's getting a little bit closer now. It's getting just that tad bit closer. I have to say, it's getting that little bit closer. At the moment, OMB are on for 2 points. They're on for a total of 16 points so far tonight. Just 16 points. Which means they'll drop They'll drop at the moment, possibly even more than that. I don't know. They might actually drop down to P10. It looks like, actually, KJ's caught up quite a bit. It looks like he will drop down to P10. So it will only be 15 points for OMB here tonight. Yeah, 14... I can't speak. 15 points for OMB. Trusted now retires in the pit lane. He's done for the evening. He does it. He knows he can't do any more. And so does Tsunami. He's also retired. That's a double DNF for TDR. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, to be honest. But when I'm just looking at it, and I just kind of go, I'm just kind of looking at everything, and I kind of just go, at the moment, we're looking at basically EVR potentially taking the lead of the constructors now, because KJ might go up into P9. So instead of 19 points, it's 21, and it might only be 14 points for OMB. As now Soren, I think, gets another penalty. I think I saw another penalty. No, it's not. It's no penalty. I'm not sure what that was then. I'm not sure who that was, actually, I should really say. But Giorgio with 12 seconds, Indian 13, VMV. Struggle. The struggle of the evening, very much for VMV. They looked like they were on to possibly even win this race. But now, 14th and 15th. And no real chance of points. It's just not turned out to be anything for VMV here tonight. Schumacher has now set the fastest lap again in this race. Again, he set the fastest lap. Speedy's into the pits, though. 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, though. So OMB back up, gaining a couple of extra points. Speedy going onto the medium tyres. Strange strategy to go for. The extra laps clearly showing that doing those extra laps might have not made it work. Yeah, I do agree, Richie. It does kind of suck having a wet track. But Speedy comes out in P7 with this 10-second time penalty. He's actually going to drop down a couple of places as well. So EVR will also gain a few places in the standings. So it's looking a little bit more interesting now. It's starting to get a bit more interesting, because KJ might actually end up finishing P8 in this race. There's a chance that he'll finish P8, which is interesting, which is very interesting. Gabriel gets back past Hako for P4. But I've got to say, 18 points on the way for Rosso. very, very strong evening from themselves. Only on 23 points at the moment in the standings. Only 23 points for Rosso in the standings, and tonight they're going to be making up a massive 18. So, I've got to say, to get up to 41 points in, to go up 18 points and reach 41 points, it's amazing to see. It's great to see. SKG as well, they're taking their solid pick of 10 points as well. As it stands, they'll take a lovely 10 points. So it's still points for them. It's still points for SKG. Brings them up to 39 points. So they'll drop down to 5th in the standings, if I stand correct. If I stand correct, it's 5th in the standings they'll drop down to. Because EVR will hold on to 2nd. OMB will hold on to 1st. Rosso will go 3rd. SET will be 4th, I believe. So why is he? No, it's no. That's no. It's not. It's not that way. It's the dominant teams that are at the top. It goes first down to 20th for positions. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching now. As Schumacher heads on to lap 27 of 29. Kimi retires in the pit lane, knowing his race is very much over. I've got to say, just 3 laps to go in this race. Inver into the pits as well. I think he just knows it's kind of a bit of a free pit stop for himself. But there are going to be some drivers who do get out in front of him. Is he going to go? He's going to go outside of the top 10. Currently, that will put him P10, I believe. Sorry, no. It will put him... He'll only go up 1 or 2 places. So, not too good. Not too good for Inver. Only will go up to... Because Bourbon Boy will go 7th. KJ 9th. So, he's going to go at the moment. He's on his way to probably go P10. So, 1 point. So, only 8 points tonight. That will probably reduce, that's just going to be 8 points for SET. So another poor evening for them, only up to 37 points in the championship. As now, Speedy gets past Willian for P5. Doesn't really matter with his penalty, but I have to say, the fact that it is, it is only another 8 points, it just shows. I think it actually shows something quite interesting. It shows that no team is guaranteed to have a good weekend. It's such a showing that no team is guaranteed to have a good weekend. Nobody's guaranteed that. Now Speedy goes up to P4. He's going to get 2 in 1 straight. And what a load of overtakes there from Speedy. Holy, we've got to talk about that. We have to talk about that double move down the pit straight. Absolutely incredible. KJ, though, gets overtaken by Inver for P10. But that still means he'll be P10 and still scoring that extra point. Bringing the team to 20 points this week. Instead, Thomas gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Indian gets a 10-second time penalty for also speeding in the pit lane as well. Look at this. Inver making his way up to P8 in the race as well. That's going to be P7 by the end of it. Only P7 and 5 points and another 7. So a lovely 12 points coming the way of SET here tonight. So they will go to 41 points, which will put them in a nice position. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think it's going a bit crazy, to be honest. It is going a bit crazy. VMV stacking up tons of penalties, but we are on to the final lap of the race, and a dominant race for EVR. It's got to be 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds in the lead of this race. He went from being, I think, P6 or something, and now he's P1 and leading by an absolute mile. I've got to say, yeah, he was P4, sorry. I've got to say, though, this has been such a poor showing from OMB. and most of the grid. The fact that Schumacher's had such a... Like, he's gone from being in that battle for the win, from starting 4th to leading the race by almost 12 seconds, probably going to reach 12 seconds, is just ridiculous. It is... I think we can all share one thing, and that something that we'll all agree on, is that it is absolutely mental. It's mental, the fact he's gone and done that. And rounding the final corner now, Schumacher heading down the pit straight. Dominance in Australia. EVR win, and it is Schumacher to win for EVR. And Indy gets another 10-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. Who's going to cross the line in P2? It is going to be Pascal, who loses out the victory quite spectacularly as well. And now in P4 and P5, look at that. It's up onto the podium for Rosso for the first time. Hacko goes P5, and it's P6. It's down to P6 for Speedy, P7 for Inver. Soren, though, who's going to go where now, penalties-wise? And across the line, KJ does go into P9. Soren only does achieve that 1 point for himself. Flame, he's crossed the line, and he's in P12. We then have Deck in P13, and we have just one driver left, all the way back in Sector 3. He's out on the intermediate tyres, of all tyres, making his way round to finish the race for VMV in 14th. Dead last for VMV here tonight. But realistically, I'd say as a team, not dead last. I'd say TDR definitely taking that. But yeah, just not too great. And what a victory for EVR. Second of the season. We'll have to see post-race whether there's going to be more penalties for drivers and teams or not. But it is Schumacher who wins once again. And it is a great victory. Schumacher wins from P4 on the grid. Pascal just loses out on the victory by an incredible 12.2 seconds. Gabriel is third. William in fourth. Hacko fifth. Speedy sixth. Inver seventh. Bourbon Boy in eighth. KJ in ninth. And Soren in 10th. Giorgio finishes 11th with Flame in 12th. Deck in 13th. Thomas in 14th. And Indian in 15th. Out of retirements being Kimi, Tsunami, and Trusted. But with that, that is the end of tonight's race, and what an end it was. What an end it was. Absolutely incredible. Ultimately, what an end. What an end to that race. I have nothing to say, but I've got to say, drive the day. There's only one man who can get that, and that's Schumacher. Only one guy. Only one man that can do it, and that's Schumacher. Only person. Ultimately, in the end, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please think about subscribing and leaving a like. Also, click on the notification bell to know about our streams, shorts, and videos. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day. Also, make sure to go and follow us on Twitter at FRLT F1, as you can see in the top left. Also, big thanks to our affiliates, SimRacing Centre. Ultimately, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye. Look at this! Look at the mounting, and it is a safety car! Here comes Mika into slow corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for F1 down towards the next couple. Oh, it is! Oh my god! Whoa! Bit of a season!